Music psychology, mood, and our driving with it. I imagine every one of you knows, have been with, or have seen an aggressive driver. From speeding, whatever you would refer to speeding as, uncontrolled behavior, or anything in between. Now imagine why they are aggressively driving. Is it for urgency? Is it out of spite? Or rather, is it out of their mood? Typically, when we associate an aggressive driver, we think of blasting intense music thrashing out their windows. That's generally a stereotype, but it's a true stereotype most of the time, because stereotypes are based off of reality, depending on how harsh or twisted you would believe it to be as. That being said, isn't too far-fetched to believe that this aggressive music is tied to one's behavior, because it's true. That being said, I would like to discuss how music affects mood and why it is more likely for a music blaster to be speeding over someone with mild music or even no music at all. To understand how music affects our mood, we need to understand how our brain chemistry functions and shifts between music. Quoting Sandra K. Cirelia and J. Nolan White in their book Psychology, 4th edition, indirectly, GABA, a neurotransmitter that helps with physical pain and acts like a depressant, serotonin, a hormone that can help us calm down, and adrenaline, a hormone that increases the blood flow rate while also stimulating preparing muscles. End quote. Those are three major chemistries in the brain that are typically influenced by music. Now, adrenaline is typically influenced by things like riding a roller coaster. As soon as you come off, you feel all jittery and pumped, and you want to go on another one. Now, these three chemicals dictate the result of individualistic mood in the music, and can drastically change what one would feel from any given song. Serotonin in mood typically acts as a neutral calming variable. It doesn't really matter why it's obtained, as long as it is obtained, the mood of the music will calm, be it a favorite song, sometimes to sleep to, or something you are interested in. These are all enablances of serotonin, and the stronger one's relaxation, the calmer one gets. That's common knowledge. Adrenaline typically pumps up an individual. One may feel more headstrong and potentially more arrogant. Think of it like coming out of the gym when you feel all sore, but that little thought in your head thinks, I'm a little ripped. I could take on the guy that's a little bigger than me. I'm 5'5". I could probably take someone 6'3". A little arrogant. Sorry. Polar opposite to adrenaline, GABA depresses people. Or rather, it slows them down methodically, not physically. Through GABA has a quirk, an ability to function differently depending on the memory of the music and its context in one's life, a little bit like serotonin. Think of it like this in a hypothetical term. You might have listened to Back in Black by AC/DC in memory of a loved one's favorite song who has passed away. Now, the song is typically a pretty intense song with a very pumping beat. However, the emotions of that loved one will pertain emotionally in the song. It's called synergies. You think of it like a cocktail, where if you put a bunch of sweet stuff into it, it's going to turn out sweet. You feel pumped, you will become pumped. However, if you put a bunch of different variables upon it, you don't know how it will turn out until you try it. Let's apply this when we are driving and listening to music. Obviously, one is more likely to speed when they are pumped and arrogant, because they are neglecting laws and potential punishment. One might be less likely to speed when they are listening to calm music and start serotonin and good GABA memories. Those that don't listen to music still get affected by their moods, but they don't change their moods as much because there's no outside variables, unless they're on a call with a friend to calm them down or to pump them up, because a lot of teenagers in a car can really be eccentric, or maybe it's just a podcast. Hypothetically speaking, if one were not to have any background knowledge of or memory of any music through their entire life, then we would all just know how drivers feel with any specific song. Even in the womb, believe it or not, because people still remember frequencies in the womb. However, Humans aren't so one-dimensional, nor capable of even not hearing music, as it is all frequencies, and frequencies can still be heard and felt. Beethoven, who was a deaf musician of the Romantic era in classical music, composed for a long while of his life deaf, resting his head on one arm of his piano while feeling the vibrations of the instrument to compose. His compositions didn't change at all, believe it or not. Rather, they only had some different feelings of composition because he was angry because he couldn't hear. Now, I know I've asked a lot, but there's just one thing I want you all to do one last time. I want you to think about that person again. That person that you know, have been with, or have seen as an aggressive driver. Now recall what they might have been playing on the radio if they were listening to anything. Maybe it was Shake It Off by Taylor Swift on the loop for the 20th time because you wanted to be a DJ for the hour drive down to the beach. You're driving that person insane. Please get help. Maybe it's Sunflower by Post Malone because those drums are just groovy. You feel pumped. Or maybe it was just Back in Black by AC/DC, a good old classic. Thank you.